This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Get this, adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/iHeart. Greenlight.com/iHeart.
At Designer Shoe Warehouse, we believe that shoes are an important part of, well, everything.
From first steps to first dates, from all-nighters to all-time personal bests.
From building pillow forts to building a life.
For all the big and small moments that make up your whole world, DSW is there. And we've got just the shoes. Find a shoe for every you from brands you love at brag-worthy prices at your DSW store or DSW.com.
Want to feel more creative but don't have the right laptop? Lenovo.com can help. Look through our legendary lineup of AI-powered PCs and devices and find the one that fits your passion. Our PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, as well as cutting-edge AI tools, allow students to focus, learn, and create with ease. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. Plus, college students and teachers can get 5% off their order. Shop now on Lenovo.com. The future's waiting, and it needs you.
All right, in the shortest of short segments ever to be short in the history of KFAN, let's offer up a FICA Fairness and Kevin Durant Act. Nordo tells me via the talkbacks, we received a fair amount of Kevin Durant-related talkbacks.
Yeah.
Somebody associated with the team cannot discuss or go in detail about somebody under contract with another team.
Yep.
So therefore, it would be foolish, it would be stupid for us to put somebody in a position to get an organization fined. So that's why FICA Fairness and Kevin Durant Act was left on the metaphorical cutting room floor. Hopefully everybody understands. And the second part of it was it's there when you discuss players and their future lots in life. Via either player option, team option, unrestricted free agency, restricted free agency, you'll quite frequently, and maybe this happened today, you will get straightforward lip service would be an oxymoron. You'll get standard lip service just to get out alive.
Yeah.
When I asked that question of Chris, you saw it. His head snapped up, looked right at us. Absolutely, I expect him back.
Yeah, Nas and Randall specifically.
Nas and Julius Randle. Now, that's kind of what was said at the end of the season, but this, you always run the risk, and I've learned over the years, when you are the person who is like, nah. I looked in his eyes. I could tell by his demeanor. It's just, I looked in his eyes and, I could just see this. Well, no, you can't. You're guessing.
Right.
Which I'm going to do right now. The nature of the way he answered that question and the way I presented it via the tease of all teases ever to tease. They'll be back, and they fully expect they're not going to lay everything out. Why should they? If you're out there running or part of the hierarchy of a major company and there's something big that impacts your company and you're asked publicly about it, well, first and foremost, nobody knows your name. Secondly, nobody cares about your role, and everybody cares about this role in this team. So therefore, you're not going to make available the ins and outs of these company changing moves.
Right.
And that's fine. That's the lot. Those are the lots in life God gave us, and we move forward with it. But I could just tell they feel really good about this, that the intel, that the work's been done, that the private conversations, sneaky conversations have been done, and that those two, I would expect to return to this team after being with Chris for an hour and change. Would you?
Yeah, I agree with you in terms of how he answered it, and you just appreciate, for the most part, as much as he can be, how straightforward the coach is about these sorts of topics. And, I would also say, though, that, part of the delicate dance of this is why you can't go long form on a Kevin Durant. It's not just about fines and various things, but we're watching it play out in the news right now with the reporting being done locally and nationally, how tricky this situation is, how potentially busy or not busy a team's summer can be. So there has to be a respect that's placed there, knowing that the coach may not have all the answers on certain topics today, but what he's able to talk about, he surely and gladly will. And that was just an awesome hour, and how comfortable he was. We're kind of, how much time do we got with you? Is it cool if we do this? And he was just sitting down, hanging out. It was an awesome experience having the coach in today.
Can't thank him enough. Salt of the earth, likewise for Kevin O'Connell, two of the coaches that I've got to know really well over the years. John Hines too. I got to know him quite well during the course of our Box in the Box run too, when he would come up there early and sit there and chat with us for 4 or 5 minutes, and you chop it up kind of like you're at Bunkers on a Sunday night, listening to them cover Curtis Mayfield and or Stevie Wonder songs.
Yeah.
And so we're so blessed to just have the ability to get to know these people outside of what they do, but then chat with them about what everybody cares about on a weekly basis. And I just, honestly, I'm just touched right now, man. I can't thank those teams enough for their faith in us and their consistency with us. And that's why, I say, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, whether it's Jeff Anderson and his group with the Vikings, Sarah Perez and her group with the Wolves, Aaron Sickman with the Minnesota Wild, Dustin Morse with the Minnesota Twins. They're phenomenal. Because mostly me, but we've had moments with them over the years where things haven't gone exactly the way they thought they would.
That's true.
And it's how you work through those moments is, quite honestly, I've learned over the years what defines the character of individuals to a certain extent. When we return, somebody with incredibly high character and somebody I've known for many, many years, at least a decade and change. Her name is Lindsey Young, and she writes for the Minnesota Vikings. She has a book that has been released and was released about a month ago. It's called Olivia the Brave, and we're going to chat about that. It involves kids, and we love kids in the Kids Covenant. We're going to discuss that and more around the corner. You're listening to the
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, how to get 30, how to get 20, 20, 20, how to get 20, 20, how to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold! Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Unlock smarter learning with Lenovo AI-powered PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors. Head to Lenovo.com and choose from multiple devices to fit your passions. If you're a gamer, you can spend less time stressing about GPUs and CPUs and more time dominating with your AI-enabled smart engine, which optimizes your game performance in real time. Or maybe you're a scientist on the verge of a groundbreaking discovery and need a device with a longer battery life and AI-enhanced tools to give you extra time to finish your research. Or you're a musician preparing for your biggest break and need better, faster AI tools to make digital art a breeze, like creating band posters and t-shirt designs. Or you're a soon-to-be graduate needing to catch a recruiter's eye to land that dream job, so you need cutting-edge smart tools to build your portfolio from scratch. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. Plus, college students and teachers get 5% off with an education account on Lenovo.com. A better future is waiting, and it needs you.
Man.
How are you doing?
Mr. Allen, how are you doing today?
Well, we feeling fine on this beautiful Talker Tuesday. It's 10:25 in the neighborhood, and the neighborhood is 9 to noon at FM 100.3 KFAN. Here she comes. I've been excited for this since we put it together during Vikings minicamp last week. Lindsey Young is the name. And she's a staff writer and editor for Vikings.com. Also author of a book called Olivia the Brave. And it was released last month during Mental Health Awareness Month. It's about kids and anxiety and much more. And you can learn more at Lindsey MN Sports via Twitter. That's Lindsey with an E. Lindsey MN Sports. Learn about this book, Olivia the Brave. And here she is. Hello, Elle. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Excellent. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Coming up on a decade with the purple for you, I believe. Right around 10 years full time?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you enjoy about your job with the Minnesota Vikings?
I feel like there is never a dull moment, and there's never a shortage of stories. I absolutely love working for a football team. Like right now, we have 90 guys on the roster. So, like, there's just never any shortage of things to talk about. I love this time of year when, like, young guys are coming in, especially, like, some of the UDFAs that you don't know a lot about. Mm-hmm. We have a guy on our team whose grandfather invented the baby carrot.
What?
I don't even know what that means, to invent the baby carrot.
Somebody
like, he just
saw
made
a carrot,
it short. Yeah.
Cut it, refined it, made it... Wow.
I know. I want to do a story on that guy.
Jeez.
So, I
mean, can you invent baby carrots, put them in bags, market them worldwide, and retire, or like have enough money to retire in like a month?
I mean, I need to know more.
Yeah, that's a brilliant, fascinating story. I had no idea the baby carrot was invented. I thought it just happened.
I know. So you know, one day I'm doing mental health content, the next day I'm doing football content, the next day I'm doing baby carrot content.
Right.
But in all seriousness, like I have such a passion for storytelling, as you know, and helping others share their stories, and doing it for an organization and a team that I grew up watching and rooting for. Like that just never gets old.
Well, Lindsey did a mental health series for the team called Getting Open, and so now from that, which is accessible at Vikings.com, and maybe even the YouTube channel. What led you to wanting to do something apart from the team for kids? And the book is called Olivia the Brave.
Yeah. So, I have had passion around mental health for a long, long time. And I was able to launch the Getting Open series in 2021 and had really good reception to that, very positive responses. But obviously that was all geared towards like young adults and adults. And so for a while, I've kind of wanted to do something for kids, but didn't know what that looked like. It was not a concrete plan at all. And then it really was my nephew, Oliver. He's 8 now. I guess he was 7 at the time we started thinking about this, but he really inspired me to want to do something for kids because he has had some pretty intense anxiety challenges in his young life. And so, you know, I think part of me, the auntie heart, struggled to like watch him go through these challenges, but then also loved seeing him thrive with some of these resources, whether it be his parents who are incredible, but resources at school and outside of school, and just seeing, you know, how he was coming up with the tools and being equipped to deal with those challenges. So I wanted to do something for kids that would help kids like Oliver not feel alone, but also to help kids. There's plenty of kids out there who maybe don't deal with anxiety, but help them to understand what maybe their peers are going through, that it's very normal, because kids can be cruel, sometimes unintentionally too, if it's something that they don't understand.
Amen. Yeah, for sure. And Nordo and I both have kids. Mine are 24 and 22. His twins are 10. Hannah's 1, right? Yeah, Hannah's 1. So he runs the gamut, as do I. Anxiety and kids. All right. So let's put Oliver to the side.
Yeah.
So you can take that example, obviously, without making direct references for this young man. But what did you learn preparing to write the book when it comes to anxiety and kids?
Yeah, so I had to like really dig into, well, first of all, we had to decide on what age range this book was going to be for. And so that was something that we had to be really intentional about. The book is for ages 4 to 8, but just seeing like how much anxiety in young kids has gone up. It is more prevalent kind of when they hit that middle school age, but already people are seeing it in the 4, 5, 6-year-old age range. And, you know, sometimes it's kind of that more separation anxiety from being around mom and dad, but also there's just so many things in the world right now that I feel like kids are being exposed to, you know, going through active shooter drills at school and things like that are just heavy things for like their minds to wrap around. And so there's just a lot right now that kids are going through. And so the biggest thing that I learned, whether doing my own research online, talking to a friend of mine who's a therapist, is just this idea of like making sure that kids know that they have a safe place to talk about their feelings, to talk to a grown up, to talk to a friend or a teacher. And so that's what I wanted to do through Olivia the Brave as well. Obviously wanted to make it very age appropriate. It's a fun story. We're not talking about anything too intense, but like just helping introduce that topic to kids. And then hopefully it's a good conversation starter for kids and parents too.
All right, Al, let's bring it back to you. You have shared and still share that mental health issues have plagued you, but have not become your identity. Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
Yeah, I feel like I can't really tell my story without the impact that anxiety and depression have had on my life. And they've been really low level at times. They've been more intense at times. It's kind of been up and down, but I don't want to identify myself by or define myself by those challenges. So even I try to catch myself if I say like, my anxiety is bad today or something like, I don't want to like own it. Yeah. So I'll try to say like, oh, I'm experiencing bad anxiety today or I'm having a tough day. But at the same time, you know, like I said, it is part of my story and it's part of who I am. And I feel like it also helps me to be more empathetic towards others and be more sensitive towards others. And those are qualities that I'm proud of. So I try to like look at that flip side too and, just kind of see, you know, like this is sort of part of my journey, part of my walk. And, it is really, really difficult sometimes, but also if it can allow me to help other people, then that's what I want to do.
Amen. So I'm not, you know, I'm being conscious here and cognizant. I don't want to put you in a position where you have to play child psychologist or psychiatrist or therapist or however you want to describe that. Yep. However, I also recognize, because I've known you as long as I have, and your work ethic is fantastic.
Thank you.
So you're not going to throw out Olivia the Brave and just throw this thing together.
Yeah.
You know, I talked to Oliver. I'm ready. 10-part series coming. No, you're going to talk to psychiatrists and psychologists and therapists and those family members and those who are going through this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so let me frame this up like this. Why is it some young kids handle sleepovers and gatherings well, and some get Olivia-like tummy aches, and they give the opportunities, the moments a try, but then beg out and have to return home? Is there a common thread there?
Yeah, that's a great question on if there's a common thread. I like in my reading and in talking with therapists, like there's definitely a correlation between kids who would be categorized as highly sensitive, which I was, and kids who more easily experience anxiety. And like in the book, we talk about the amygdala, which is the part of our brain that sort of we need to have to inform if there's danger. Like there's a healthy level of anxiety to have, right? If you need to react to a situation. But there are those of us whose amygdala like overreacts or overfires and tells our body that the situation is dangerous when it isn't. And so I think they have seen that big correlation with kids, again, who are highly sensitive, that kind of triggers or goes off more easily. And that was something that I experienced. And so, but when I wrote this book, you know, I'm 37 now. So of course, some of these experiences in the book are loosely based on my experiences, but I also wanted to bring in the kids' perspective. Yeah. And also talk to, like you mentioned, the therapists, other family members, other friends, things like that.
Lindsey Young, staff writer and editor for Vikings.com and the Minnesota Vikings, via X at Lindsey MN Sports to learn more about the book, Olivia the Brave. You can even buy it there too. And if you buy it via Amazon, Olivia the Brave, it's a kid's book for those ages 4 to 8 involving anxiety and things that go into that. Please leave a review. Be kind enough to leave a review for Olivia the Brave via Twitter at Lindsey MN Sports. Lindsey is with an E.
So what was the process like, covering a serious topic, but then in the end at a base level, because it is for children ages 4 to 8, you want to make it a fun story. So what was it like kind of balancing the serious with the fun?
Yeah, absolutely. That was kind of tricky, especially because people have asked me, oh, you write for a living, so was it easy? And I'm like, yes and no. Like the first time I sat down and wrote a draft, I was like, okay, I'm really liking where this is going. And it was like 2,000 words.
Oh, geez.
And I like wasn't even like halfway through. And I was like, okay, I need to like reevaluate what this is. And so, I think I tried to make it lighthearted, and, the scenarios that she encounters in the book that are challenging for her are not, these big, heavy,
it's not like a tax
scenarios.
deadline or something like that.
No, nothing like that. Like PA mentioned, sleepovers and going to the zoo to feed the giraffes, but it also talks about her, hanging out with her friends and going to school, and, her dog that she has, which of course I had to put my dog Tater in it. So had to feature her, of course. But I did want to make it so I want this to be a fun story that kids enjoy reading, that they like run and get before bed. I don't want it to be like this like intense, scary story. So that was a challenge. But it was really helpful too to work with the folks at Wise Inc. who published the book, and work with their copy editor and my project manager to kind of go through and see where tweaks might need to be made. So it was definitely a group effort.
So during the process, what have you learned are some things parents best can do to aid anxiety in children?
Yeah, one of the things I think is just being open to have those conversations. After I had given the book to one of my she had purchased the book for me, but she has 3 kids, and her youngest one deals with a lot of anxiety and also recently received an autism diagnosis. So they're navigating some challenges, and they were reading the book, and the daughter said, Mom, how did Miss Lindsey know to write this book about me? And that just was kind of like a heart pang for me. But it like led to these really great conversations about, are there times that you have felt like Olivia does in this book? And maybe when do you feel like that? And it's okay to tell Mom and Dad when you feel like that. So a lot of those are conversations. But then there's a lot of great tips too that you can just do at home. Like, of course, in the book, Olivia does see a therapist, but like there's plenty of things that you can do at home without seeing a therapist. We talk about birthday candle breathing, where they take a deep breath in and then blow it out all the candles. And so I've done a couple of classroom readings too, and we do that with the kids. So it's something like really easy to do at home and can really help to kind of calm a child down, hopefully help them be able to like navigate or talk through what they're experiencing.
Lindsey, is it fair to say the diets of children lead to some of these problems? I mean, so much sugar for the really young kids can trigger myriad emotions.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's definitely fair to say that. That's not to like have judgment on anyone at all, but I do think, even me as an adult, like I can tell when I'm eating a lot of sugar, like the anxiety that I experience is worse. Sugar affects us in that way. I feel like it's probably safe to say like processed foods and stuff like that too. Like if I'm eating healthier, I can tell that my mental health is better. And so it probably doesn't always correlate. I'm sure everybody's different, but like the number one things that they say for kids or adults experiencing anxiety as far as food and beverage goes, it's like caffeine and sugar intake should decrease to try to deal with those things at any age. So that's something that I, try to be better at implementing in my life when I can experience, or when I'm experiencing those things being at a higher level.
Amen. Do you plan for this? Olivia the Brave is the name of the book. Olivia the Brave, and you can find it via Amazon and to purchase it there. Do you plan for this to be a series, or what's next in the mental hopper?
Oh, that is the $1 million question, Paul.
We're looking for time, like all of us, right?
Yeah. I would love to do additional books. I'm kind of at the stage of let's see how this one goes.
Yeah.
But I really, really enjoyed this. I loved working with the illustrator as well. She was incredible.
Haley?
Yes, Haley. She lives in North Carolina. Shout out to Haley. So I don't know for sure, but I would really love to do some more books with Olivia.
Have you learned there is a stark difference between kids and public and private schools? Now, we're looking ages 4 to 8, so we might be a little young here.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm getting at is, like I speak at Christian high school fundraisers. Now, this is high school for places like New Life Academy, Southwest Christian High School, and Avail Academy. Those are the 3 in the stable for now. They have scholarship programs for families who cannot afford private schools. So proper schooling for kids at a young age clearly can make a big difference, and I think with this subject. Do you see it that way?
Yeah, I think it can really be on a school by school basis, whether private or public.
That's fair.
I grew up going to a private school, and I am really thankful for that. I appreciated the Christian education that I had, and even just smaller class sizes and stuff like that, I think can make a difference. But I do think it's on a school by school basis, because sometimes public schools have more resources available for things like this. So I think that can be an advantage. I work really closely with Prairie Care Fund, and I know Chris Hockey does as well. And they provide resources for in schools, and they work with both public and private schools. So I don't know that there's necessarily like a concrete answer one way or the other. And since I went to private school, I can really only speak to that. But I think the biggest thing is finding a school where you feel well supported, where your kids are getting the resources that they need, where they're taking seriously issues like bullying and stuff like that. And I think that's what I appreciated about a private school, being intentional about that type of thing. So yeah, I think it can depend.
Time for 2 more.
What do you think of the team into the 2025 season? Like the Minnesota Vikings. What do you think of them into the next season?
I'm so pumped, but I'm always pumped around this time of year. Like I'm such an optimist.
Yeah, because they don't count yet. Everybody's loose.
Everybody's like healthy. Everybody's happy.
Want to talk to Granddaddy about the baby carrot? Yeah, what do you need? An hour?
Exactly.
Go ahead and do that in October. You won't get a text back.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
I'm really excited though. I am really excited about JJ McCarthy and how he's looked. I'm excited too to see like how these free agents pan out, because I mean, look at how last year's free agent class went. Like it was incredible.
The Gank.
Yes, the Gank.
I mean, so many more, but
Blake Cashman, Grenard. I'm super pumped about that. I am excited that Aaron Jones is staying around. He's fantastic on and off the field. Christian has been looking really great in his recovery, which is huge. I'm excited about the Will Fries and Ryan Kelly coming over from the Colts. Those guys are massive humans. And I think that they're going to be really good on the line. Yeah, I mean, they're all kind of,
You're 5'1".
Yeah, 4'11".
You're 4'11"?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Marcus Sherrills was massive.
That's fair, but these are extra massive. They're going to be good on the line, I think.
Understood. All right, let's wrap it up with a current team-related question tied to the subject matter that involves the book.
Okay.
Olivia the Brave. Lindsey Young, love her to death, is the author of Olivia the Brave. It's a kid's book about mental health and anxiety, designed for those ages 4 to 8. So how well have you gotten to know JJ McCarthy? And here's why I ask. Because his anxiety and depression, and he shared this publicly in a press conference.
Yeah.
I might have been standing next to you, and we went, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's ever said this, but he took us back to 2020 at IMG Academy, where you're you're blessed to go there, you're coveted, you're on the fast track, and then the pandemic hits, and people can't leave their homes, get on the roads, or fly. So he's trapped, is the way he put it, for months by himself, minimal friends, no family. And he became depressed. And it was a dark, dark time for J.J. McCarthy in 2020, as he puts it. So his anxiety and depression while trapped at IMG Academy meshed with this vein-opening, vivacious, loving kid. He's awesome to talk to.
Yeah.
So it's both sides there, you know?
Yeah.
How well have you gotten to know him?
On a one-on-one basis, we haven't gotten to know each other super well. Although I do really like to ask him about his dogs, because I'm a huge dog lover.
Yeah, let's go Tater.
Yes, so we'll connect on that.
I want that Archie.
I'm looking forward to hopefully having some more conversations on the mental health side of things. but just being around him in the building, around practice, like he's always so kind. He always says hi to me. He's just such a highly energetic person, but he also seems just, I'm sure genuine. You would agree, like genuine, big mature beyond his years. Mm-hmm. Like when he talks about meditation and the things that he learned when he was dealing with depression, like I just feel like you don't get that a lot with younger athletes. And I love that it's just becoming more of a talked about thing. I think it's super important because to me, that doesn't make JJ McCarthy weak. Like that actually is a strength of his that he's already gone through that and addressed it and knows how to deal with that if it crops up. Right. So I'm super impressed by him on and off the field. Yeah. I mean, I've been in ancillary fashion around these guys since 2002. And ever since Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi in the group came, it's the way I phrase it, and people can take it however they want, is the spirit in the building never has been better. Mm-hmm. After wins, after losses, how they handle losses, how people aren't bullied, how people are talked to. It's just phenomenal. Mm-hmm. The spirit in the building has returned, and my energy and enjoyment for the job has returned. And it sounds like you're having a great time over there too, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love it. And I couldn't agree more. Like, I know that culture is kind of a buzzword or whatever, but it matters. It really is true. It really matters. And yeah, what Coach KO and Kwesi have built is legitimate, and it's fun to be around. Anything else we need to know about old Olivia the Brave? I don't think so, but I just appreciate the chance to talk about it, and anytime, I would love to share it with anyone who's listening, so come check it out. And you can start by going to @Lindsey MN Sports. That's her Twitter page, and Lindsey's with an E. Learn more about this book for children called Olivia the Brave. Thank you, Lindsey. Have a good day. Thanks, Paul.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold! Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Unlock smarter learning with Lenovo AI-powered PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors. Head to Lenovo.com and choose from multiple devices to fit your passions. If you're a gamer, you can spend less time stressing about GPUs and CPUs and more time dominating with your AI-enabled smart engine, which optimizes your game performance in real time. Or maybe you're a scientist on the verge of a groundbreaking discovery and need a device with a longer battery life and AI-enhanced tools to give you extra time to finish your research. Or you're a musician preparing for your biggest break and need better, faster AI tools to make digital art a breeze, like creating band posters and t-shirt designs. Or you're a soon-to-be graduate needing to catch a recruiter's eye to land that dream job, so you need cutting-edge smart tools to build your portfolio from scratch. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. Plus, college students and teachers get 5% off with an education account on Lenovo.com. A better future is waiting, and it needs you.
We'll be right back. Man. Hey, here's what the final hour and small change looks like 9 to noon. The News du Nord bed is here, so you know the 9 to noon version of a sports update is coming up around the corner. Also, yesterday, yours truly spent a fair amount of time talking about NFL play stealing, and we just got long-winded with the guests and everything, and the ideas we have for some play stealing or concept stealing by the Minnesota Vikings to help them in 2025 was left on the metaphorical, symbolic cutting room floor. But they're going to be shared today. So some football in the final hour for sure, and maybe some talkbacks. But let's start with News du Nord, which is provided by
The Casino at Canterbury Park, CanterburyPark.com. Feeling the felt with poker, blackjack, and table games. I borrowed some money from the casino recently, and I'm looking forward to a chance to give it back.
Now you're bragging.
But live racing is in play. You have...
you kicked the bleep out of table 13, let's be honest.
We handled business. And we're hoping the horsies do as well. Live racing Wednesday, Saturday evenings, and then Sunday family days in the afternoon.
Basset Hound Racing Sunday, 1 o'clock, Ava Stella. Basset Hound Racing.
For real?
110 is when we, they're more jowly than me. And and he got those floppy ears, and so the big long Basset Hounds, they race Sunday at CBY.
Well, I will be seeing you on Sunday then, CanterburyPark.com. By the way, this Ben Urasek, this Vikings tight end with the baby carrot grandfather.
Oh, that's him?
Yeah, 1986.
That's when baby carrots were invented?
He just innovated the he used, I think, a bean cutter to actually just shape these 2-inch little baby carrots and completely change the entire carrot industry. And then Mike, so that's Mike Urasek, the baby carrot king. Mike himself is the uncle of an actor named Gary Lockwood, whose real last name is Urasek. He was Frank. You maybe have not watched a Stanley Kubrick movie, 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yes, I believe I've seen part of it.
So Ben Urasek's related to the baby carrot king and cool ass actor Gary Lockwood.
Wow.
So it's
in the genes, baby.
These are the stories. He'll be making memories for us on the football field. But maybe Lindsay can write about baby carrots and Kubrick films.
Yeah, and speaking of genes and families, it's good to know Ava Stella and Hannah will be elite on the barbecue about 20 years from now. And Derek and Nicole will be getting stuck in the final legs of pick fives in their 30s and 40s. And nobody's going to write about us, but the Uraseks and the Urasek and the baby carrots, well, now that's in play.
That is all-time immortality, the baby carrot king. How about a chance for immortality by these guys?
Up top to Nemhart, pump fakes Dort, drives left in the lane. Throws it away, Shea the Seal, Coleman Holmgren, driving left, down the lane to the rim, lays it up left-handed, lays it home, and he's hacked in the act by Neesmith. Oh, the Thunder spurt back to go up 10, 107-97, a spectacular surge by Shea.
You know what that highlight missed? It missed a money ball.
Dort screens high right, Shea behind him. Draws a double, feeds Dort. Wide open. Strosa straightaway three-pointer that's online. Nothing but net. Cha-ching, a Thunder money ball.
That courtesy of Thunder Radio. Game 5 goes the way of the Thunder. 120-109 the final, and now the Thunder are up 3-2 in the series. I had always been kind of like short series, potentially Pacers in 5. That didn't go the right way.
Pacers in 5?
Thunder in 5.
Right.
And just I've kept expecting, okay, they're going to get back to it this game. There really have only been 2 games this series that kind of felt like how the Thunder play. It was game 1, and ultimately Halliburton makes that terrific shot at the end to steal that game, and they'd been trailing most of it, found their way back into the 4th. And then last night, PA, where you saw the runs, Jalen Williams with 40 last night, so terrific he was. But you started to see the all-around bench contributions. Shea, of course, doing his thing. Not shooting great last night, but the triples were falling overall. And that felt more like what we experienced in the Western Conference Finals, where every single time the Pacers might make a little push, get it to 6 or 7. There was just something happening on the other end that they had no ability to stop last night. It was an impressive game by the Thunder. Again, more in line with what I expected this entire series looking like. But man, game 6, the Pacers can absolutely just go handle business again and force a game 7. That'd be fun. Halliburton, 0 of 6 from the field. When's the last time you saw like a team's big star do the things he's done, game-ending shots that he's made, and then come up lame?
I didn't look at his final minutes.
He was 34.
34 because T.J. McConnell in the third quarter was the best player in the game for about 5 minutes, and the game had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in it.
He's been the best player for the Pacers a couple of different times.
Wow.
Drawing steals on inbound passes, the and ones, how tricky he can be inside. McConnell, if you're looking at like bench value, we had Finch in here. We're dream weaving about the Wolves. Finding a guy like that, I mean, has been invaluable to Indiana's team.
But see, players like Obi Toppin are of the enigmatic variety because when he was a super high first-round draft pick by the New York Knicks, and it didn't work. and he would get DNPs, and it was just negative. I ain't putting all that because Obi is making himself a lot of money right now, and there are going to be teams that want to bring him off the bench or maybe start him. Obi Toppin, who knew? I mean, his overall game has been fantastic, but the enigma therein lies with, was it Obi or the Knicks, and is it Obi or the players around him?
Right.
So he's a conundrum. After chatting with Finch, too, Jaden McDaniels is a conundrum. I mean, he's not an enigma. There's just a conundrum there with some things.
Yep.
But that bench piece that you just brought up, that made a lot of sense. Halliburton was out to lunch last night.
Well, he might have a calf thing.
Oh, geez.
So
I think
I don't know the severity of it.
Yep.
But
and again, I'm doing this, which I don't like when people do it, and I'm about to do it twice. 3-2. When they would cut to Tyrese Halliburton and show him on the bench when McConnell was blowing up, Halliburton has to be a team guy. He just has to be. So I'm not going to cast an aspersion that he was frustrated, that he wasn't playing, and what was happening in front of him was not him. But I'm also not going to say that's not completely accurate. TJ McConnell and the reaction he gets from the home crowd. I mean, my heavens, he's 4'2" and like 36. And he's crossing over on SGA. Yeah, get out of your freaking seat and give that man his due. I don't necessarily know if that went over incredibly well with Tyrese. Because he was not the same when he came back into the game and played the final stretch of the game. He was out to lunch.
Yeah.
And yes, I do believe I know what I'm looking for because I watched them a lot. So I'm reading between the lines here with that. I'm actually, I'm not in lockstep with what you didn't make a prediction, but... You
think it's over versus I'm feeling Indy with some form of bounce back.
Yeah, and I think they might get killed because I think Oklahoma City now knows where all the bones are buried and recognizes if we lose this game and wake up and play a game 7, it doesn't matter where it is. What if somebody twists an ankle and can't play for a half? What if the referees all of a sudden go pear-shaped and we don't get the calls?
Yeah.
What if they start doing what Indiana does, see the Timberwolves game here, and they just start throwing them up from 28 and they happen to be going in. And then we're down by 10. In the final game of the season to win the Larry O'Brien.
Yeah.
I think this professional, cold-blooded, calculated bit with the best players wakes up, when's the next game? Let me guess, in July?
Yeah, correct. I think it's tomorrow night.
Okay.
Or tomorrow or Thursday.
Well, whenever the next game is.
It is Thursday, yeah, of course.
They wake up.
5 days off in between games.
They wake up and... Wait a second. The next game's Thursday?
It's Thursday.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. From Sunday?
From Sunday.
Wow.
Or, from last night.
Oh, last night, right.
Monday, yeah.
All right, 3-2. So Tuesday, yeah. They wake up and they're killers. And that's it. They're done. They're good and they're scrappy and they're tough and they do things specifically at home that get under our skin. They're done and it's time to go out and dagger somebody. And they're good enough to do it because they're the best overall team in the NBA. They are going to be the target at which to shoot for at least 5 years because they will find a way contractually to keep SGA, J-Dub, Jalen Williams, and Chet. And Chet's in and out with the performances, but still, I want him around as my 3 in the MV3.
Yeah.
So I think they'll keep those 3 around, but then we get into what Finchy said a couple of hours ago, is trends in the NBA are the types of players you're bringing off the bench who can keep you in games, win games, or not get you beat.
Right.
And when you start paying everybody all the money, that's when you... Like the Celtics. It was a great example. I mean, Tatum, Brown, Derek White makes money. Porzingis makes money. Well, then you get to the bench. All right, Peyton Pritchard was 6th man of the year. Can't play a lick of defense. He must have hit all of his threes. Sam Hauser, Al Horford's all done.
Yeah.
Luke Cornett. Yeah, he might block 1 shot and have 2 consecutive good games. I ain't winning a title with Luke Cornett.
Right.
So they've fallen off there with like their bench wherewithal. Where OKC, it's Kate. Nobody cares about Case and Wallace or Aaron Wiggins or the other Jalen Williams or Kenrich Williams.
But they do matter in the run.
But here's the bit: is Caruso has 6th man of the year material to him the minute the schedule comes out. Those others don't. but for what they do, they're perfect.
Yeah.
They are perfect role players and high volume or low volume fillers, including Isaiah Joe, because the coach has done it in a way where everybody has to always be ready to go. Because if he calls on you and you've been pissed off for a week and a half that your minutes have been down and you offer up a dud, you're probably done and won't play the rest of any run.
Yeah.
They're not like that, you know?
No. Well, even with SGA, they were talking about it on the broadcast last night, and I didn't notice, or maybe I have, but just didn't think about it. When SGA gets an early foul, they immediately yank him. Like last night, they yanked him like 5.5 minutes into the game.
Wow.
Chills for a bit.
Brilliant.
But their ability and their comfort level, I should say, with being able to make those sorts of moves. Obviously, we want Shea. We want him all right, and we want him in a comfortable spot in the fourth.
Yep.
I have no problem in the first just rolling to my bench and putting some guys in spots to make plays. But I think about, and it's a different situation, that the idea of making the second run, Celtics a good example. I look at the Nuggets a little bit. You get rid of Bruce Brown.
That's a great example.
Contavious Caldwell-Pope goes away, and this is also in line then with Michael Porter Jr. that's kind of been in and out and just never really materialized to the level they needed him. Jamal Murray's injured every April.
Christian Brown now has to start.
Oh yeah,
where he was some pop off the bench.
Yeah, think about that defense and a quick 10 points from Christian Brown off the bench is now a 30-minute guy, and he's got to score 20 plus. So how difficult it is to run it back, so to speak, when you start paying a bunch of guys the fat cash. That's what should lend credence to the idea of optimism that this team that has gone to the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row, possibly a busy summer, got to make the right moves. But this by no means is the swan song of it's just OKC's to have and the rest of us are just passengers.
Right.
They got to go back out and do it now.
Agreed.
And Siakam on Thursday, he could have a say in this.
Siakam was the bomb last night.
He was incredible. So I'm still feeling like let's stretch this out. And I'm sad that the coach hadn't watched any of the finals, and I feel he's cut up by this thing. It's an off season.
Yeah, he really is.
But I wanted to ask him, do you just text Carlisle and just say, you're welcome for what Obi Toppin has done after he put 7 threes on us in that game at Target Center during the regular season?
Yeah. You know what? I didn't talk to Chris about this on the air or off. We haven't talked about it away from radio or anything. So I'm offering up a thought that I have that may be completely wrong. I don't even know how you bring this up to somebody, but We've had Chris on the radio show so many times for now a half decade that more than a handful of times before they got really good, Dagnalt, the coach for OKC.
Yeah.
I mean, there are many times that he would call him one of the smartest, one of the most innovative, one of the ones that impresses me the most. He did it today with his defensive structure. Well, It perchance there were things that were done in that series that Chris and his staff were like, I just got to throw my arms up here because it's ever changing and we need more time to figure this thing out. And this guy, the coach for Oklahoma City is so well respected. It's such an early part of his run around the NBA. Well, he's not afraid to pull SGA in whatever type of a game 5 minutes into it when he gets one foul. Nobody does that. They let him, you're mature enough, you're good enough, play through it. Don't get your second. I got a second early in the second, now I lose him for the rest of the first half. Well, it sounds like that OKC doesn't do that. I just have a feeling that there were some things either behind the scenes here or presented to them that they 0 of 10 could get through.
Yeah.
It's not happening. And whether it's how the players are acting after they get blown out or it's a 23-2 run and I can't get through to them, it's something, there's something thick here, something deep with the way this thing ended. I'm guessing, I'm speculating, but
he's going to be in the lab this summer.
But when we started out and he's like, I don't watch the round after we get bounced. He didn't say that last year. But something I like how you put it. Something cut that man up. And that man's countenance at times today was that of chagrin, where he's an eye contact guy. And he wasn't all the time today. He puts his head down, think when he's talking, and that means that he's either thinking about the perfect way to say things because you don't want to offend or off-put something, or he's just. I think that's the answer. So I just think that there were some things like I'm gonna put. Let me just end it like this: like I don't have to be right, and probably am not right, but in that first game, when I watch it and I come out of it with this take. It's like Oklahoma City looked at us and said, you guys shoot a lot of threes, and you think you're pretty good at it. Well, we recognize that, but we don't think your bench players are as good at it as you think they are.
Yeah.
We're going to let them shoot threes, and we're going to let you cut off your nose to spite your face. And by the way, if you start hitting them, I'll call a timeout and we'll adjust, and then you'll have to work around something else.
Right.
I think it was like that.
I think there is.
You see what I'm saying?
Where he maybe feels
the pride got hurt.
Well, maybe it's the pride. Did I get outfoxed in certain spots? That this thing that had worked all year long and has been consistently good, did I walk into my own trap effectively like that? Do you think is there any moments like he's in the car and the way that almost Tourette's-like, instead of dropping an F-bomb, he's like, Lou Dort? Lou Dort?
Yeah, but...
Kason Williams?
Yeah, but just think
That's why he's not watching it.
Think about Julius Randle in the Western Conference Finals. Go ahead, Julius. He hit 5 threes, like I said when we were at the Omni.
Oh, right out of the gates?
Great. Yeah. Julius hit 5 threes in the first game. That sucks. That's not his game. It's great he did it, but it ain't. Because clearly they looked at it like, that bully ball stuff, that ain't happening. Okay, that's a major, major advantage you have, and we're not going to let you do it. I don't know what goes into it. I'm not, new school John Wooden here. I got no idea what you got to do to get around it. How often did it happen? Not often.
No.
How often was it effective? Julius just bullying somebody down to the basket, getting the and one, and taking the lead.
I don't remember him actually doing that as you just described it.
It happened.
Maybe once in the series.
I can't remember.
I don't recall it at all.
I can remember him hooking up against several Warriors and several Lakers and making it work.
Yeah.
So I just think that there were some things that took place in that whole thing where it's kind of like, hey, I never really seen that's a headache.
Maybe, in the vein of what we'll talk about next segment, some play stealing. You think that
they all steal, Nords?
They all steal.
They all steal plays, and we'll pay that off from yesterday. Some things that Brian Flores had to say last week, and he was quite honest. It's like Dan Cole, the common man, says he lies for a living, but at least he's honest about it. Brian Flores, credit to him, was honest about off seasons and people looking at other people's work and just kind of seeing what they're doing. And we used a couple of examples of play stealing that are vivid and polarizing and prominent. But we, 9 to noon, we have a few suggestions when it comes to plays and or concepts we think would be really cool for the Minnesota Vikings to steal. That's around the corner, and you're listening to The Fan.
Are you still quoting 30-year-old movies? Have you said cool beans in the past 90 days? Do you think Discover isn't widely accepted? If this sounds like you're stuck in the past. Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. And every time you make a purchase with your card, you automatically earn cash back. Welcome to the now. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Hi, I'm Danielle Fishel from Pod Meets World. So for my 2 boys, I got Samsung Galaxy Watch for Kids. And I'm not saying I'm kind of jealous of my kids' tech. I'm saying I am definitely jealous of my child's tech. This thing lets them call, text, and explore all from their wrist. No smartphone required. And don't worry, you're still the boss. You control who they can talk to, and yes, you can totally stalk their location in real time. Get Galaxy Watch 7 on T-Mobile, now kid-ready with a new paired line. Visit T-Mobile.com to order yours today. Parent and child must have a Samsung account and Google account with Family Link. Requires initial pairing with a compatible Samsung smartphone and qualifying wireless plan with LTE service activated. Please check with your carrier for more information. Trusted contact applies to compatible apps. It does not restrict communication through third-party or other communication apps. Emergency services and contacts remain accessible. Location sharing is dependent on network connectivity and device being recently active. T-Mobile terms via 24 monthly bill credits when you add a qualifying paired watch line. See additional offer terms on T-Mobile.com.
Does friendly have a taste? If it does, it's probably like Hello's peppermint-flavored anti-plaque and whitening toothpaste. Brush away plaque, show tartar who's boss, and remove surface stains to naturally whiten. Hello's thoughtful and flavor-forward products make brushing your teeth feel like a confetti-filled bathroom dance party. So say hello to Hello with the always cruelty-free, never tested on animals toothpaste that's made to spread smiles. Visit HelloProducts.com and let Hello add some everyday yay into your life.
Okay, have you heard about this? Last year, Degree changed the formula for their Cool Rush deodorant. Their fans rebelled and wanted the old scent back. And Degree listened. That doesn't happen often.
They admitted that they effed up and are bringing the original Cool Rush scent back. And it's exactly how you remember it. Cool, crisp, and fresh. There's a reason it's the #1 men's antiperspirant, and it's back in Walmart, Target, and other stores for under $4.
So try it and see what the fuss is about. Head to your local stores to try the OG Cool Rush for yourself.